overthinking about my life. I've been overthinking about my life and everything that I got going on. I ain't gonna switch, I ain't gonna change my life. I'm gonna ride until the wheels fall off. I've been overthinking about my
Welcome
life.
to episode 10 of, I'm gonna do it again, Big Brothers Podcast. This is episode 10, y'all, and even though it's just episode 10, we're 10 episodes in. This is a little like small, miniature, tiny milestone, I would say. The fact that we're here, the fact that we're doing it, the fact that we're still going, it's a blessing. For real? Thankful.
11 receptions for 226 yards.
So doctor's looking up.
Coop against Jair Alexander.
When was this?
2019.
A few years ago. Yeah. So
Just
yeah.
saying though. Trevon Diggs the truth.
Episode 10. Trevon Diggs is the truth, but episode 10. Are we locked in on episode 10? We're ready to go?
It's on the flow. Let's go.
It's 7 o'clock. It's 7 o'clock. Doctor's drinking coffee.
I was going to start singing that song, but I don't even remember
the
the
truth.
song.
It's
Got water
7
too, right
o'clock.
back to back.
7-Eleven
Dot.
coffee hits a little
They
different.
got the drop top.
I didn't know what the rest
I'm
of
not
it
a singer
was.
by no
7
means.
o'clock.
If y'all want to hear me sing, we got to get Josiah on the auto-tune. We got to get this auto-tune
Got a
going.
little bit more
We
in you.
need 1,000 likes.
Got enough in me right now. We got to make sure this podcast.
We're underwater now.
Gotta make
if you
sure this
haven't
podcast
noticed.
stays on track. So if y'all don't know, now you know. The man in front of me is our cousin River. Say what's up to the people, River.
What's happening? Yep, I'm Big Brothers. Shout out.
Big Brothers Podcast. We
We're
got
big
him on.
cousins.
We got him on. Yes, sir.
Drop likes, leave comments.
Had to come up, say what's up.
So the reason why this one's excited, and we'll kind of get into it, just because I would say of what it is that he does. So the thing with Big Brothers and what we want to do now is, we want to do our best at educating, right? Bringing laughter, just bringing something different to the table that not everyone may know about. Something we talk about quite often is with college, right? After high school, what do you do after high school? So we've kind of had a couple people after or talk about kind of the other kinds of, what would you say? Other kinds of, I'm trying to think of the word, other kinds of ways to go.
About like other routes.
Other routes, there it is.
Other routes to take.
Other routes to take. So before we get into River, we were talking about the UFC fight. So the UFC fights are this weekend. So we kind of want to do a little talk about that real quick because they are this weekend. So we might as well talk about it. And oh wait, this episode won't even drop this weekend. Damn. So
Let's make our bets now.
let's just all right, we can do
We
that.
could do predictions.
So let's start with real quick. There's 4 main events. There's 4 big fights in the UFC this week. There's Doug Rose, right?
There's Usman Covington.
Chandler and Gaichi. And is that it?
Then there's I know Garbrandt's fighting, but I know Gaichi and Chandler are opening up the card, and there's usually like 4.
So, but those are the
So,
big names,
those are the
right?
big ones.
So we got Doug Rose against, I don't even know her name. I should have looked it up.
Whaley.
Whaley.
Whaley. Yeah. She's a
I'm,
killer.
I'm doubling back on Doug
She's a
Rose
killer.
on this one. I mean, even though y'all were talking to me about the whole Whaley thing, how like, what'd you say about they opened up the streets in China, or did you
Listen,
say?
Whaley has to win, right? It's not like Thug Rose where it's like this is my own personal destiny. It's like Whaley's got the whole China on her back. China's different. China treats you different. If you're one of their star athletes, like you gotta perform or like you're out kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I think she took the last loss pretty hard. She cut her hair, like she's short hair now and everything. Like we'll see. I think she's gonna win.
Yeah.
I'm willing to put money. I think she'll get it back because that was a quick one last time.
I think she's trying to get it back in blood.
That was a quick one last time. That was kind of like a lucky. She flicked it up.
She got
caught her
caught.
right
She
on the
dropped
chin.
her.
She got caught.
I
She
can
got caught.
I can definitely see it. So now, kind of thinking about the whole thing, I can
Thug Rose is a thug.
Thug Rose is no joke.
Gotta double
man.
back
She-
with her.
To watch.
Gonna have to watch
I
it.
don't know. I ain't gonna lie. If I had to place a bet though, I think I'd go on the other girl. If I had to put money down,
She's probably the favorite,
I was
honestly.
gonna say I wonder who the favorite
She
is.
probably is the favorite.
no,
I mean,
hell no.
No, the
You
champion's
can't-
usually
You're not
the
gonna beat
favorite.
someone and then they're gonna be the favorite.
Yeah, you
Hell
are.
no.
Usually the champion's the favorite.
That still
Okay,
works.
you
That's
see-
how it works.
You
sometimes.
see this fucking belt on the shoulder? You see that? I'm number 1.
When Andy Ruiz fought Anthony Joshua, this is one I remember for sure. When Andy Ruiz fought Anthony Joshua the second time, Joshua was a favorite, even though Ruiz took his
He
belts.
should never be the favorite.
I can't believe he lost again.
horrible.
But anyways,
He's-
next fight we
That is crazy.
got Justin Gaichi against Michael Chandler. I like this fight a lot. That's a hard one for me. I want to say
That's a tough one.
For some reason, I want to say Michael Chandler, but I can definitely see Justin Gaethje beating him up. But Chandler honestly was beating up Oliveira, and then Oliveira just ended
was.
up getting him. Right?
Yeah.
I think he ended up dropping him one good.
What do you
Like,
think he got a sunburn?
yeah. think so. He's out there.
Oliveira.
They're out there. Oliveira. See, pendejo. Oliveira, isn't it?
Oliveira.
So yeah, I think I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with I don't know, bro.
I'm gonna go with Chandler just because I know that Gaichi can wrestle, but Chandler can wrestle.
Right.
It's a difference, right? Chandler can also strike. You saw what he did to Hooker, and then he also dropped Oliveira, which you haven't seen in a long time.
He did.
So I'm gonna take.
I
him.
want to say Chandler as well.
Also,
This-
Chandler's been a champion in multiple productions, and Gaethje's he's been interim once, but
right. He beat up Tony Ferguson. I think that's what.
Yeah.
But Tony Ferguson kind of.
I think that was the interim fight.
Yeah.
I need to watch more UFC.
Right. So this is the UFC guy
That
right
fight
here.
did break my heart though. The
Ferguson
Gaethje
one?
versus Ferguson.
Yeah, he dogged him. He did.
That whole
I need to
fight
watch
was
that.
brutal,
That's
bro.
A handful of fighters.
Yeah.
Brutal.
And then who you got on the Gaethje Chandler one? We're placing bets right now. We're
Gaethje's
going-
getting choked out.
He's getting choked out.
You might rear naked. I could see it.
And then all right, and then the main event one, unless you had something else to say about this Gaethje one.
No,
all right,
no,
the
you
main
get choked
event
out.
one is Kamaru Usman against Kobe Covington. For some reason, I'm not a big fan of Covington for some reason. I think it's just because of I heard that he was going to get cut from the UFC one time, and then when he heard that, he like put
He
this
just
whole
called out Brazil.
right, and then he put this whole different kind of like he's a beast though. Like that was probably one of my favorite fights ever to watch.
Yeah,
the Covington.
he admits it on podcasts and stuff that it's all an act.
Yeah.
It's the only way that he was going to make it. He was already winning. It's not like he's gotten any more dominant once he changed his persona, but just more people started watching. So UFC told him they were going to cut him, and he was like undefeated. What are you going to do? You know what I mean? So he
You
chose
know-
the bad guy card. Good guy card wasn't working. Can't blame him. You know what I mean? It's funny, UFC is a lot more like WWE than you really think. All of us, WWE, you know what I mean? But it's like
UFC
we get excited about the drama in
UFC's
UFC.
about their paper first.
And you know what? And they line people up unaccordingly, right? Because you have people you have the rankings for a reason, right? You got first, second, all the way down to top 10 guys, top 15 guys. They're matching people up just about the money fights, right? Connor's still in the top 10 rankings and he's 1-4 in his last 5 fights. Why is he still up there? I mean, it's all about the politics, and there's a lot more drama.
His
You know what I
last
mean?
fight was giving me anxiety, bro. We were watching in Tahoe. I had anxiety.
I think he
the
wins
whole
his
time.
last fight.
Who, Connor?
I think
break
he
his
wins
leg?
that fight.
I don't think so. You talking about versus last Poirier?
Yeah.
No
He
way,
was in
bro.
there to kill
Come on.
him. He was in there to kill him.
Well, he was getting killed. I tell you. Right
I thought it was a cool fight. I thought it was cool. I thought it was playing
no
out.
way.
From what I was watching.
But I
Listen,
thought he was
I'm
in there on
I'm
a
a
mission.
big Connor fan, right? I
Same.
love Connor. He got me so much more into the UFC. The guy
He's fucking
he's
insane.
captivating, bro. The guy gets you pumped, right?
He's crazy, bro.
He's motivation, right? But Poirier
Yeah.
was beating him both fights.
I
And
think
it's
that-
funny how the leg kicks kind of determined both fights, right? Legs were
He
the,
said
were the
he had a
story of
broken
both.
leg going into that already.
He did. Yeah, they had the X-rays. It's funny how they took a bunch of pictures beforehand just in case that did happen. so
I
they
think
could
that
pull him up
Poirier.
like, hey,
I think it was just destined for Poirier to. I think it's unfortunate how he lost by the
Mm-hmm.
break leg, but I do think that it's gonna be a crazy comeback. Connor's gonna come back and either win and go ahead and do it again, or he's gonna lose and he's done. But I think that Poirier it was his time. It was his time.
It's
It was-
Poirier's time. I don't think Poirier will be in it for that much longer
Well,
though.
I think that Connor will fight him again. I think he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be Oliveira.
They won't fight again.
Poirier versus Oliveira?
Yeah, I think he's
Yeah, I
beating
think
him.
so. I don't think Oliveira.
Yeah.
You know what? One thing about Oliveira is he does everything perfect. If you see the way he throws his punches, everything's straight down the pipe. His everything's right. He can jiu-jitsu is insane.
Yep.
He'll choke you out from anywhere. The guy does everything perfect. So, and it's funny because it's one of those stories just like Thug Rose where it's like these guys were on the verge of getting cut from the UFC because they were on a losing streak and then become champion.
Yeah.
It's wild. That's crazy.
Usman Covington. Who you guys got? I got Usman.
You can't bet against Usman at this point. I think he's better than GSP.
Nice.
I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that, but I
Yeah.
think
He's
I really
crazy.
do think that Usman's better than GSP at this point. It's a new wave.
Usman crazy.
He's a beast.
He's
He's like an alien, dude. The dude's just he's not from here. Like it's
Hey,
crazy.
Did you ever see the interview from GSP of when he tried to throw off one of his fighters? He paid a man to kiss him on his mouth while he was walking out. He's like, it was gonna throw him off. You feel me? Confuse him.
That's
I watched
crazy.
it, and a guy really did it while he was on his walkout. A man leaned over, kissed him on his lips. He paid him to do that. He's like, yeah,
He's taking the whole fight with
to
that.
distract him. You feel me? Like a man just kissed me. You feel me? It's just hella wild.
he kissed the other fighter.
He kissed the other fighter on his walkout. It's insane, bro. It's hella funny though. I'll have to show you.
Throw him off his game.
That's crazy. Yeah, he knocked out Jorge Masvidal. I can't believe you slept him.
He slept him.
I was sitting there.
Slept him. He baptized him.
He's never been knocked out before. He got straight. That was a good fight too. Masvidal's a fighter. I like Masvidal. I hope he whoops Edwards.
I hope he comes back,
I hope he gets
but I
Edwards.
don't think he will. I think he's at the end of his.
Bro,
his
Nate
career. I think
Diaz
he
almost
was-
got Edwards. He hit him.
He just looked at him.
He does this. He
But
points.
you can't be one. You can't be that guy though, dude. He was getting destroyed
No, he was.
the entire
He was.
fight. You
He
look at
was.
his. Oh my god, dude, he was messed up.
He's
Hits
always
one fight.
leaking, though.
Diaz fans, woo. You know what I mean? I'm one. You know what I mean?
He should have rushed him. Bro, right when he socked him, right when he dazed him, he did this. I jumped from my seat so quick, I like levitated out of my couch. I was
Hit
like,
one
oh,
shot, flips him up.
yeah, he flipped him off instead.
He's an idiot. He had
just
him.
crazy.
If you go
Stupid.
lean and hit him one more
Stupid.
time, he's falling. He was already dead.
He could have, yeah. Nate Diaz has
I got
stupid
Usman.
pressure.
You have Usman this weekend?
I got Usman.
Who you got, Doctor?
I got Usman.
Usman. One more fight. Caleb Plant versus Canelo Alvarez.
I think we all got the same one there. I don't think anybody's choosing Caleb.
Canelo's breaking his face. I got money on it.
You just can't go against Canelo nowadays.
Canelo's a beast. Their whole little fight. Plant calls him a motherfucker. Basically, Canelo took that as offense, saying
Like,
don't
fuck
talk
your
about
mother or something. Yeah.
But there's interviews about Canelo saying fucking fuck you, motherfucker. You feel me?
Well, he's
like
disrespecting
payday. Remember when he did that
Disrespecting
shit?
him.
He's like, who do I fight? That shit was hilarious. That was a funny.
fuck outta here,
That was a
motherfucker.
funny ass. And there's another one he goes, chingados tu madre, like basically, you know. So I don't like that Canelo got upset about that. Maybe he's trying to sell the fight. I don't like that. But I got Canelo as well. And then Caleb Plant also put on the record like I would never say anything about someone's mom because of what happened in his life. Dude, I think the police actually, you know, to
Kissed
his,
him on his cheek, on his lips.
but not
It's true shit though.
talk about this. That GSP.
Yeah, just looked it up.
It will throw you off. It will throw you off. But shoot, guys. I just want to say, man, thanks for making the trip out here. I know you live in Sacramento now.
course.
It's a little like an hour away from us now. And the reason why we got River on today is because of
Why'd
what?
you say it like that?
Why'd I say it?
You said the reason why we got River on today.
You know what? It's funny. Right when I said it, I was like, you call me? Cut that shit.
Restart.
I bit my bottom lip. River. I was like, oh,
Pungi.
bit my shit.
Damn it.
You go cut that
I
out.
was
No.
gonna move past that.
No, yeah. Anyways, the reason why we got him on today is because of something that we've kind of been doing a little bit of is talking about, I guess, after high school, even though some of you guys who watch us are probably 50 years old or 30 years old or whatnot. But anyways, it's kind of we're
It's
talking
never
about,
too late to start for college.
yeah.
Just so,
So we're talking about things like, you know, we're not discouraging college, but we have different routes of, you know, because again, remember the military, there's construction, and for one thing that I never really knew about after high school was sales. So that's what he does. He actually got me when I was living in San Diego. He actually was texting me, sending me pay stubs and sending me all the things he was doing and stuff like that, and kind of giving me a description on what he does at the time where I didn't know if I was going to stay in San Diego or come back home. I was kind of stuck in between. And he just kind of got me to I came back home and I got a sales job thanks to him. Shout out River. Cat Exteriors, got into Cat Exteriors. Remember we shouted him out on one of the podcasts. He's like, appreciate the shout out. So now he's here.
Just so you know, I was watching.
Yeah. So sales. So we kind of want to talk about that with you. After high school, what was the first thing you did after high school? What was the first job you did?
First thing I did was Platinum Auto Works, so a body shop out in Sacramento. Basically taking the trash out for the guys that are painting cars, you know, doing body work, stuff like that. You know, their trash cans get filled up probably 4 times a day, and they need room to work. So I'm doing that. I'm mopping the floors. I'm detailing up cars as soon as they get finished and it's a collision center, just for the record. So cars are getting in car accidents, and then they fix them. As soon as they're done, somebody has to clean those cars, right? Because we made it super dirty. Maybe there's broken glass inside, or maybe it's a new dash, and we were all dirty inside of it. So you have to clean those cars. You have to have somebody that does that. So I was that person, 8 to 5, just washing cars, sweeping. First ever job under the table. I won't say my boss's name, but I think it was $9 an hour. And so, which was minimum wage at the time. I remember when it turned to $10. And I told him, I said, you need to give me a raise. And he goes, I'll put you on the books if you want that. I said, keep me at 9. I'll make a little bit more under the table. But, so, that was kind of my first job, but it wasn't just like a normal job. The owner of that shop was my uncle's best friend for years. You know what I mean? Maybe you can call that a blessing or you can call it a curse working for that guy, but they're usually a little bit tougher on you. It's not like you just get they're easy on you because they know they're tougher on you. So the good thing about him is he was an entrepreneur. He's probably one of the most successful business people I know to this day. Even after, my whole sales experience of the last 4.5 years, he's still probably one of the most successful people I know. And I still carry things with me today that he's taught me back then. Once you get to a certain dollar point, an income or whatever it is, it just becomes a number. That was one thing that he taught me. And so at that point, you got to have something that you're doing it for. You can't just do it for the money. You get burnt, not necessarily burnt out, but you'll get complacent. Mm-hmm. You wake up in silk sheets every morning. You know that quote where it's like you can't, it's hard to wake up at 5 a.m. and go jogging when you're used to sleeping in silk sheets, right? And so, number one, he taught me how to stay humble, but at the same time, know what you're doing it for. Right? You have to have a reason, whether it's for you, whether it's for your parents. You want to take care of them when they're older. I know that's a big thing for Pungi here. He wants to take care of his family, and that's admirable. There's a thing to want to take care of your family, and there's really wanting to take care of your family. Everybody wants to take care of their family, but are you actually going to make that a priority? Because once you get that money, it's a lot harder to spend it on other people than you might think, right? And so you get that money, and all of a sudden you start becoming selfish without even realizing it. So I learned a lot from that guy, just kind of how to act in business situations. He would take me to real estate offices and talk to his partners and stuff like that. So I kind of was around successful people. But I went from there, took that experience, right? Because I'm detailing cars. I take that experience, I go to Ford, right? I get over at the Ford dealership detailing cars. I work my way up into sales, but I don't do it there. I do it at Roseville Auto Mall, just for personal reasons. With that dealership, I wasn't a big fan of, right? And so, and Shawn knows all about that. I mean, the thing about sales, especially dealerships, is you got to kind of find one that you kind of like. You're not going to like any of them, right? But one that you can kind of just put up with if the money's good. So I went to Roseville Toyota. I started selling cars. Realized that wasn't for me. They got 65 salespeople, and you're just kind of going in a row, right? Who's the next person on the lot? That's your person. If they're just going to service, that's your person. You're back of the line, right? They weren't even coming to look at a car. They're coming to get their oil changed. That's your up, right? Back of the line, right? They don't care. So that, I realized like, this definitely isn't what I want to do. I see the guys that are managing there and stuff like that. They're making good money, but I genuinely you just don't like the environment. And like I said, I don't think anybody can truly really like being a salesperson at a car dealership. I think you just do it because maybe you have some friends that work there. Maybe it's something that you got into, but I'll tell you one thing. When you get into the car industry, whether it's service, whether it's sales, you're there. You got to crawl out because you're going to be in that for a while. People get sucked into that and they don't get out. So it's important. So what I did was I realized I didn't like car sales. So I went and my dad was kind of pushing heating and air like a technician. He's like, they make $20 an hour plus. So back then that was pretty good money, right? I don't know, nobody else that was, when I was 19 years old that was making that kind of money. So at that point, I was looking on Craigslist, Indeed, looking left and right for places to work. I found this guy that was doing heating and air. He had a salary, right? And sounded good. I was supposed to be a technician. I go in there. He talks me into knocking on doors. I'm like, you're crazy, bro. I'm not doing that. He tells me, just try it a couple weeks. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it. So I tried it, and I'll be honest, that was probably, to this day, that was what some people would look at as like the bottom of the barrel for my career. But for me, that was the funnest I've ever had. Like canvassing with your friends that you work with, like it's all about what you make it, right? I can look at it as I'm somebody who's just knocking on doors, or I'm looking at it as I'm somebody who's out here with my homies making money, just like finessing, right? Like just spitting game at people and just, you're not even selling them. You're just setting an appointment and getting paid for it. Like, so it was cool. Did pretty well at that. But the company that we were doing that for kind of fell through. So I was like, at this point, what do I do? Do I go work at another place that, you know, I can knock on doors? Do I figure out if I want to do something else? And I also forgot I was doing health insurance the whole time. I tried selling cars. And when I jumped into the knocking on doors, I was doing not health insurance, life insurance, final expense. So I was doing that. So, you know, I've always wanted to make a lot of money. Money isn't something that we had growing up. I was never hungry, right? Never hungry. I'm super thankful. You know, I came from somewhere where I wouldn't have to worry about what are we going to eat tonight. I don't have to, you know, beg my mom to put food on the table. That was always taken care of. I had a beautiful, healthy family, you know, but we didn't have the nice things. And so sales has kind of changed that for me. Without sales, I was talking to Pungi about this before we came in here. Honestly, I don't know what I'd be doing. Like, at this point, if this all didn't work out, I would be like just like everybody else out there who's like, I don't even know what I want to do. Like, I feel like I'm at a point in my life.
There's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them,
people
right?
like that.
And that's okay. Like, people don't realize at 23, 25, like whatever it is, we are so young. You know what I mean? At 32 years old, we can start over. No
At
problem.
18 years old, that doesn't seem to be the case. Think about when you graduate high school. Think about until now. It's like 7 years from now. That's a lifetime away. There's no way I can do that. Now you're like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was quick.
How did this even happen? And,
Yeah, it's quick.
You know?
Well, it's like our little siblings, man. They're getting, you know, my little sister, she's a teenager now, and that's just crazy, right? Like that's, bro. Like thinking about her with like hanging out with boys and stuff like that. Like it's a
the
trip,
strap.
bro. It's a trip. Last time,
Grab the strap.
you know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy.
Come
It's
out
crazy.
there like
Somebody getting shot.
Really,
come
though,
out
man,
there
it's
like
crazy.
what's it called from Bad Boys 1 or 2.
Oh,
He
like
comes out.
Martin Lawrence.
Who is it? Chitty
His
bang.
robe.
Yeah, so
See anything with a man?
you want to? Yeah. Can't even imagine.
And so, my bad, I hit the
Hey,
table.
is that okay for you?
What the
Is that
the
kind of
mic?
low? Is that the mic kind of low?
No, the cord keeps kind of grabbing, but we're good. Oh, we're chilling.
You're good.
We're good. Yeah, I'm comfortable.
All right, just want to make
Chilling.
sure.
But yeah, so like, yeah, so I was knocking on doors, did that for about a year and a half. Then fell through. The company started having some problems that we were knocking on doors with. So what we did was me and my buddy that were working there, we ended up becoming best friends for, you know, years. And it started by us just knocking on doors together. And I wouldn't change a thing. But I went from there, I chose the position of who I was setting those leads for, which was the closer position. I found another company that would hire entry-level closers. And I went and interviewed. I thought, you know what? I'm just going to give it a shot because everybody that was there is in their mid-40s, mid-50s. These guys are established. Like, they've been doing sales 20 years. Like, these aren't just, you know, at that time I was, 20 years old, just turned 20, and I'm hopping into this, and I wasn't supposed to make it, right? I don't have that experience of these guys. I didn't go through 20 different companies like they did, right? So I go there my first month, first 2 weeks, I spent training, but that first month I was out there, I ended up breaking the record for the company, and 3 guys quit. 3 of the veterans thought that I was getting babied, which made no sense. Why would you throw all your stuff to a new guy that you don't know if he can do good or not? But either way, I'm getting kind of used to that in this thing. You know, as Shawn's experienced, he's done this sales thing with me. I brought him through, like he was saying, and people don't like when you're young and you're doing as good in the same position. Something about it just irks people the wrong way.
Yep.
But especially in sales, because that's people's livelihoods that they put. It's a craft.
Yeah, you're not getting
a
that
craft.
hourly pay. You're getting that commission. So
It's 100%.
when they see you sell and and they don't, it's
Yeah.
like, oh,
It's
that's
a fire.
problem. It's a
and
problem.
And that's a good thing to have. You know, you want to stay on your toes. It's good to have competition. It fires me up when another guy in my company right now will sell and I'm not. And I'm like, man, forget this guy. Like, I'm about to hit up the office, send me something. Come on, what are we doing? You guys are sleeping on me. But that's good to have. You know what I mean? That's good. No matter how successful you get.
So real quick, just to go back real quick.
Yeah.
You started at Ford, your first sales job, if I remember kind of correctly.
No, my first sales job was Roseville Toyota.
My fault. That's what I meant.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you went to Ford, then
Yep.
so out there, and you said you did not like it,
Yeah.
and then you went to knocking on doors plus life insurance, and I believe you sell life insurance is kind of like a sales job as well, correct?
Yeah.
And that
You go
you
lead.
had a lot of fun doing that. I want to know kind of where in that you didn't like the Toyota, you didn't like that stuff. So I mean, where did you see like I like sales, like I like it, I can see me doing this, but I don't like my position. Was it like that, or was it like I just want to keep doing this work because it's kind of something to do and something different?
So for me, it was more like I don't know what else to do. Yeah, I know that I know how to talk to people, and I know that I know how to word certain things a certain way to make it more appealing or whatever you want to call it. But finesse is a skill that you can't really teach. You either have it or you don't. Especially, I'm learning that when we're trying to hire closers, you can train people, but you kind of just have to have it within you, a certain level that you can take it. Whether we all know it or not, whatever job we have, when we go to that job, we put on a mask. Whether it's self-consciously or whatever, you're putting on a mask. And so it's how good you can wear that mask without being untrue to yourself or anything like that. But you have to be neutral. What I realized, as far as why I wanted to get out of car sales was just the culture. Mm-hmm. The culture of car sales isn't what I liked. It's not like it's bad for everybody. You know what I mean? Like some people are really successful in car sales, and that's cool. But what it comes with, which is the sales manager is just breathing down your throat. It's not worth it, man. Yeah. It's not worth it.
So really, you didn't know what else to do. That's why you stuck with sales. It wasn't really a passion of it at first.
I knew that was
you had some
the quickest way to make money and the quickest way to make a lot of money, and that's something that I'm good at. And I was living in my parents' garage. You know what I mean? So it's like I need to make money. I need to make it fast. How do I do this? This is it's there is nothing else out there that I can kind of determine how much I want to make. This does it. Yeah. I'm able to just basically decide if I want to raise this month, I can give that to myself. And so that's kind of, I feel like, as far as our whole topic today, as far as like if you want to go to college, if there's other routes out there, sales kind of changed. I guess you could say changed my life. As soon as I was 18, I moved out. We all fail. That's to be expected. You should expect that, to fail multiple times in your life. I had to move back with my parents, move back into their garage, get out of my apartment. I spent 6 months there, got back on the horse, and crawled my way back out, and I haven't been back since. And it's been probably 3 years. And I can never imagine going back now. I am self-sufficient at this point. You don't need to go to college, but if the career you're looking for makes you have a degree, you should probably go to college. Yeah. So it's like it's not for everybody, but it's for somebody.
We're just trying to put on a different kind of
This is a different way of
life afterwards. There's military.
Sales ain't for everybody either.
Sales ain't for everybody.
Right.
Absolutely
not. The biggest thing is, like, from my experience of getting into sales, is you have to have, if I say this, the gift of gabber.
Gift of gab, like AJ.
You have to that fucker kid. Dude.
Just from these last, I don't even know how long it's been, probably like 20, 30 minutes or so. But just off that alone, everybody who's watching this podcast could be like, bro, River could talk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he can talk for sure. Just like we were all sitting here, even Josiah sitting there, like, just interested, just listening to hear what the hell you got to say right now for the last 20 minutes. And it was it's interesting the whole time. So that's not everybody has that.
Appreciate you.
Of course, yeah.
I damn sure couldn't talk for that long.
Not everybody has that, and it's like you're like so.
For me, that's
It's
survival.
natural for
That's
you.
survival,
Yeah, like,
right?
you have to do that.
If I don't, if here's the
don't
thing,
eat.
if I don't have and these guys know it, I don't really have that that back support to fall on at this point.
Yeah.
I sink or swim for me. Sales lets me take it at my pace. I got a fast pace, you know. So it's where I've stuck. And as far as what happened after I went to Cat Exteriors, so I went there. I spent 3 years there. That's where I brought Shawn.
Movie
You
from
guys
San
know
Diego.
whenever you get a new job and you're making good money, you think that's the best out there. You're supporting your company, like you're stoked, hitting up your friends. Hey, this is the greatest thing ever. I thought that was like the same case, right? Like that was my first, and I'm making double what I've made anywhere else. So I reach out to Shawn. I had another buddy that I reached out to as well, but he didn't believe me that I was making as much as I was. He thought some other stuff, but reached out to Shawn, you know, because I'm not the guy that makes it and then it's like, oh, if I bring this guy, I mean, he's going to take from me kind of thing. Like, no, we all eat, right? I'm the type of person, man, I want to see people do good. Like, I feel like I long for that feeling of like mentoring somebody. Like, I want to help others. Like, that's just in me. So it's like when I found a route that'll allow you to be successful and self-sustainability. I want to share that. And I want to show you how to do that. And if you can do that, great. But like I said in the beginning, you have to be a certain type of person. I can't just teach you, you know, everything that I say and then you go in there like a robot. Yeah, you know, it's like it has to be a conversation. And it's completely different. But so I spent three years at Cat, right? And
That was an experience.
Cat was an experience. I love those guys.
You know what? So I had a good time. I mean,
Love
as,
those
as much
guys.
as all the
Love
little
those guys.
stuff that went behind the scenes, I had a good time there. And it's funny not to take you off track, but when I moved back down, or when I moved down and I went, was like, all right, I'm gonna do sales. If anyone knows me, I be bullshit. I be just talking. This is the first podcast that I'm not talking the most, and it's a great feeling. I'm always telling them, I need y'all to talk over me, because it's something I do as well. I talk the talk. But the very first lead I ever went on was with him, and he was selling a patio cover, and I was just sitting there. They say the manager's like, or the owner's like, you go there, you just observe, you don't say anything. All right, I don't say anything. I'm sitting there, I'm just watching. I'm letting them go back and forth. And for some weird reason, I know not to say shit, but I'm just like, I bring up a scenario of our grandma about she wanted a patio cover, but she's like, I don't really know. She has and I thought in my head, okay, she has flowers on the flower bed and stuff like that. And I was like, well, real quick, if you don't mind if I chime in, I kind of gave a little story on our grandma, how how her backyard was dirt. Remember grandma's backyard was dirt, and then she got this patio cover. Well, she already had the patio cover. It's already been there the whole time, but I made a story up like she just got this patio cover, and I kind of did this little story or whatnot about it. And I'm not saying it sealed the deal. Obviously, he did that, but I think that my story was I think it kind of gave her a little bit more convincing, or a little bit more at ease with, you know what? So when he actually told one of the owners about it, and he's like, I heard what you did. River's like, da-da-da-da. That's when I knew, I got it. I can do sales, And I'm actually sales changed my life as well. I'm not doing it at this moment. I had a little fucked up situation with the last company. Bro, it took 8 months to pay me. I drove 300 miles a day. And I get it. It comes in the sink or swim and stuff like that. But it's crazy because COVID hit right during this time. And I was like, fuck, I'm taking my time off. I'm done. I'm taking a break. Or never mind, that was with Kat. Anyways, that just scenario happened, whatnot. But I do know that, I always thank him because, sales is something I'm going to continue to do forever. The sales game. If it's we talked about in the last podcast, we're buying an embroidery machine. We have to sell ourselves. This podcast, we have to sell ourselves. We have to sell our podcast, sell our brand, sell all of these things. So, if it wasn't without being put on to sales, I probably wouldn't, have the same drive or same motivation. It may not be for the same type of line of work anymore, but it's still something that's in you,
Yeah. One thing that nobody could take away from you is your knowledge. Nobody could take that away from you. And at Cat, I learned everything, dude.
Shout out Ken. He taught me.
Shout out Kenneth Middleton.
That man.
We love you, buddy.
Jeez, dude. That man. It's funny. I actually tried to get Bert to come on too.
Did you?
I did, yeah.
You probably would have done well, man.
Just
You
because,
really would've.
he's been at Falaka for so long, and he talks all the time, and he's a good talker as well. And I was like, come on, bro, let's do it, But
I just wasn't like, I feel like how a lot of other people are about with the sales thing, not even inconsistency, but the fact of not having a consistent source of like a consistent paycheck,
Income.
you know, income. So
And that's understandable.
Yeah.
You know, like some people need that. And like
It
if I was
sells
in a
you
different
bet on
situation-
yourself.
If you need to
so-
pick it up, bro, you just gotta loosen it a little bit.
Listen,
It sells your bet on yourself every time.
get
You
it
know what
right
I mean?
about
You're not working
there.
for someone
Perfect.
else's
we be
pocket.
telling everybody to, you know what I'm saying, like if take that chance, don't be scared of nothing, take the chance, bet on yourself always. But that was just,
It's better to fail than look back on it in
Hell
10 years
yeah.
like, damn, I
Hell
wish
yeah.
I just tried. At least
Hell
you
yeah.
feel me?
Yep.
If you could try and fail, then it is what it is.
but I was just like, damn, like I can't, like I'm not in the position to, like you said, like
Yeah.
I can't fall back, like I
Yeah,
can't go
yeah.
backwards. You know what I'm saying? So
that's why it takes it. And honestly, that's like on that topic about you don't have anything to fall back on. Like you said, it's 100% commission. So it's like you have to literally, you can't mess up. Like you have to believe in yourself that you're not going to mess up, right? And you're going into a difficult situation. Like every time you do it, you're going into a house where somebody has a little bit of interest. You got to take it from slight interest to $80,000 signed contract
To buy
that
today.
day right now.
Yep.
If
That
you don't do
shit's-
that, you don't get paid. It goes to the next person. They come in, they drop the price, they sign the deal. You're out of it,
That's
right?
sickening right there.
Think about it.
Gotta have
When
the
I
drive.
first heard about it, like
Yeah.
how it worked, I was like, how are you going to disclose someone? My first signing ever, I drove home
It feels good, don't
ear
it?
to ear. Dad had a bottle of Moet
That's a
champagne
good- that's a
ready.
good drive home.
Pop that shit. Dude,
It's always the ones you're pissed off about having to go to as well. It's the ones in the bay at 7:00 at night. You're like, I really don't want to go to this.
I had to
and
go
get
to
a big ol'
Sacramento
sale.
to Grass Valley,
Oh yeah,
all the way
and you
to
live in Yuba, so
Woodland. I had to go back to Woodland that night, and I was like, bro. So I got there like an hour early.
extensive.
I sat at the park with a notebook. 'Cause this is like probably my first week there, probably like my 5th lead or whatnot. And I'm sitting there going over HVAC. Okay, I can do the sales part. I gotta know what I'm talking about because I can sell myself, but if I can't sell the product, then I'm fucked. You know. Got everything done. That was my most hectic job. I had to talk to the financing company. I had to talk to him about getting his paperwork done. I had to go on the computer. I had a Snapchat River. I'm over here texting him like, bro, what do I fill in?
He got me on FaceTime.
How do I fill this in? Bro, I'm all
He's
over the place.
outside the person. He's like, bro, I'm there, right? It's on.
I'm
writing
stressing
it."
out. I'm,
He's like, what do I
I'm
do?
all over the place, bro. This is when I first got hired. They were like,
He's like, it's up. Sign the papers.
yeah, they were
He
like,
knows he got money on the line. Don't
this
mess
job,
this up.
this job is not physically demanding. It's not physically,
It's mentally demanding and
phys-
draining.
you know, like stucco. That shit, boy.
Oh yeah.
Drain you out.
I got off of work, 4
It's
o'clock,
not even
took a
comparable.
shower,
It really
he's at the
isn't.
house.
It's
I'm
not
ready
even
to go to
comparable.
sleep. I'm so tired, but like this, like what it did to my brain, oh, it was chaos. But once I got in that car, threw my backpack in my whip, started slapping some music, I
You
was
start
going
typing
crazy.
to the
I was
company
just
group chat, and you're like, "Hey, sale,
sale.
you
I
feel
was
good
in that,
too." You're
I was
telling
in that
them.
bitch just going back and forth, texting, got a sale.
They're all
boom.
telling you good job. Yeah, giving you
Damn right
attaboys.
it is,
Shit, Dad went to the store right then and there, bought a bottle of Moet, pulled up to the house, popped the champagne bottle,
cool.
was just living like,
You got
oh,
supportive family,
man.
brother.
That
That's
was
good.
dope, you know, that first sale. That's why the rush of it, bro. It's so hectic, but the rush of selling, that's why like I'm so excited for like I'm glad that like we're getting on this embroidery machine. It's just like steps. I've always just seen myself doing this, you know. And I feel like we all can just really be really good at it, you know. And I always thinking like, bro, like without you, bro, I never would have had any of these. The podcast, yeah, but I would have been. It just wouldn't have been the same, you know. I don't know.
Everything happens for a reason, man.
Yeah,
my
absolutely.
route is journey, or my journey is and route is a little it's unorthodox, but
Yeah.
that doesn't mean it doesn't work. You don't have to stick to the book of rules on how to do this thing. You can go out and listen. You don't have any excuses. Like I didn't, you know what I mean. I came out of my parents' garage of like, you know what I mean, full of trash, like sleeping by the hot water heater, like. Nobody could tell me nothing now, and like that's all because of self-belief that you can go out there and just do it, man. And honestly, yeah, it's 100% commission, but it's like the reason why nobody makes that kind of money is because they're not willing to do that. You know, otherwise,
They're scared to bet on themselves.
everybody would have that kind of money if it was easy, and you know there was a lot of comfort and security in that. But you got to get uncomfortable to get into that comfortable
Hey.
position, so to speak.
If it was easy, everybody would
have
do it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Pros and so for the people listening, for the ones who are
But either way, I'm at Amerisun now, sales manager. Reach out to me.
reach out
we do
to 'em.
solar, roofing, windows, heating and air. Pretty much we build homes. So we can do bathroom
And we'll
remodels,
stucco them. Go ahead and reach out to
kitchens.
us.
We'll do stucco as well. We'll contract these guys to do it, so you get kind of the whole family working on it.
Yeah.
We all get paid well, so we'll do a good job.
Facts.
And that's dope to see that you're at a Marathon and a
Yeah.
sales manager where you belong. You belong as sales manager because shit, you're managing. You know.
That was the thing at CAD. It was like I was already taking everybody on ride-alongs, and they
Right.
were kind of using me for that. But it was like I wasn't getting kind of
Yeah,
compensated for that position.
For real. I mean, shoot. My biggest thanks is to River for putting me on and always being there when I needed the help.
No
and
problem.
Like I shouted out Ken because that man really sat down with me and made me learn sales.
What Ken makes you learn, by the way, and I'm not trying to cut you off,
No,
but
no.
while we're on that, so what Ken, just so you guys know, Ken was one of our managers in sales. Ken was the one who led the Wednesday meetings, but the thing about Ken was he wasn't just doing that kind of sales. He came from corporates where he was selling $1 million jobs. So what he taught us, and at CAT, we were just selling what? Heating and air, windows, roof, patio covers, Texcoat, which is like a lifetime paint for the house, but it's like 30 grand. So it's crazy. But either way, so this guy, so he came from that kind of position. So he was not scared to charge people to get his money out of the deal. So his whole thing was don't be scared to ask for money. One of his stories that he told us that's always stuck with me is he was at the Mercedes dealership and he was asking him, how much money is this car? And he told him, if you're asking how much money this car is, you probably shouldn't be at the Mercedes dealership. So that kind of taught me of how to sell my products, right? We don't cut quality for a cheap price. If you want quality, you can come to us. If you don't want quality, I can always subcontract to a cheaper contractor who's, going to have less of the goods, right? Somebody who's not going to be around in 10 years, somebody who just works out of the back of their truck, or you can have the professionals who carry 10 different licenses and are always going to be here. So that's kind of the way I explain it. And really in the whole thing is you can't sell too much. Like one of the biggest mistakes is people talk themselves out of a sale. Like you think that you need to keep selling, but they're right there. Like we have a guy in the company right now and he's a beast. Joe C. You remember that song?
J-O-E to the C. That's how I got Joe.
I told him about that. He didn't know nothing about it.
I'm a freak. Oh, call me sick. 3 foot now.
So Joe C. So Joe takes probably 3 hours to make a sale. Right? He's got to warm you up. He's got to butter you up. He's got to become friends with you. He's got to do all this and that. Today I had a 1 p.m. appointment. I was out at 2:07. Posting the sale, finance was done, signed, two different pieces of signatures. People's way that they say that you should do stuff, it's not for everybody, it's for them. It's something that worked for them that may work for you, but ultimately everything somebody teaches you, you should just take a piece of it and make it your own, because we're all different. If I do something well, and if there's something that I say a certain way, and I try to teach Quincy about it, you're gonna say it probably, but it's gonna come out differently. So like you'll have to add in maybe something of your own at the beginning or at the end just to make it a little bit different. But I mean that's to everything, right? That's kind of like back in school when we're cheating off everybody's homework.
I'm putting the in there.
But it's the same thing that relates to real life.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One of those in there.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what you're saying. X fail. You
Change it up a little bit, make it a little different.
Just kidding. Those are jokes.
Yeah, and so now it's a little different. I've got my feet settled into this company. I'll probably be here for a while. You make a good relationship with the owner. They value you and you value them, and it's a mutual respect between you guys. But you got to understand, to have a 6-figure income, you have to have a 6-figure work ethic, and people don't have that. People want to make the money, but they don't have that kind of work ethic, right? Yeah, they want to. When it's 5 o'clock, don't call me. I'm off. Yep. That's not a 6. Why do you deserve to make that kind of money, right? So that's kind of what I've learned too, and what I've taught my guys is you got to have a 6-figure work ethic if you're going to do this. It's not just as easy as like I'm going in there for an hour. It's not going to be everybody. It just depends on how long it takes you to make that connection with somebody. Yeah. And it's just experience. You can't download that. You got to go through it. And so I'm happy where I'm at. It's going good, man. And Shawn's doing his own thing now. He's not with me anymore. He kind of left my side. It's all good. He was my rider, dude. I was about to make a bunch of money off of him. Took off on me before I could.
This man would say, "Come with me to my lead. I'll give you half, or I'll give you this. for sure. We'll go sell that bitch. Paycheck comes. Well, I can't give you that. I'm gonna give you. Damn, I'm done.
He'd be
I'm
he'd
done
sit there
waiting
like, he'd
3
sit there like this.
I'm done 2 hours. I'm done.
He'd be
being
like,
up.
"Where's my 500 shrimp? I'll give you 100. You have a good day."
Maybe sit here for 2 extra hours. I could have been at home.
We got some knowledge out of it.
Sold you.
No, but I don't know, man. But as far as
Just on to the next. I'm just on to the next thing. I'm on.
Yeah.
I have been thinking about. Dude, I've been offered so many car sales jobs. I always text him. First thing I do is I text him. What do you think? He's like,
Salesman or
that shit will
disposable?
suck your. That shit will like.
it don't matter
suck
how
the
you good
soul
you
out of
are at the car dealership,
Don't do
they're always
it.
you can replace
Say
it
less.
like that.
I asked the
Just
guy. I said, how many sales guys? Oh, I think we have like 58. Fuck, do you need me for?
Straight up.
Why do you
They
need
don't.
me? Why do you need me? 58. You want
Try
59?
to make more money
What
on
do you-
his team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he needs more people on his team to make him money.
Yeah, I'm cool. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. Don't fall into that trap, man. Like I said, you get stuck into that.
What are the pros and cons of sales jobs?
Because we've only been talking about really the good things, so we got to let people
Yeah.
know.
I mean, the cons, it's hard for me because I haven't had much of it, but the cons are you listen,
betting on
listen,
yourself,
here's
I
the
think,
thing.
is a con.
Anything that's worth it is going to have some shitty things to it. And so I think anywhere that you work, you're always going to have something bad. Especially when it comes to sales, there's always going to be people that you don't like in the company. You know what I mean? It's sales. It's like a competition. Some people are weird about it. Some of the bad things are like Quincy said, you know, some people you need to have that guaranteed paycheck, and that's not a bad thing. That's just knowing what you need to be secure, and you're not changing that for anybody. So that's okay. But yeah, some of the bad things are just 100% commission. And Shawn, I feel like you'd be able to tell kind of more bad things about it than I would at this
I'm
point.
gonna be
Those
out.
are two negative things that I could see from it, honestly.
You know what I
Just
mean? Like,
the-
and maybe
Just say
another
you're not
thing would be.
guaranteed a paycheck.
So-
that's like
so-
that's
Yeah.
like the biggest
Here's the thing,
thing.
you can get to
and that's
a-
what it was.
Yeah.
That's to me, cons are this. So when I switched companies, I went to another company, and at first it was a good quality leads.
We had a friend there who was a
good
manager, so it
leads,
was like
everything
he
was
kinda
good.
talked it up for us.
But this is the thing that I don't like. Again, right, like you said, you're betting on yourself. You're not promised a paycheck. But when I have to get up at the butt crack of dawn to drive to Oakland, there's probably people who don't live in our area, but if I have to drive 120 miles, you know, this way, just to drive 60 miles back this way, to drive back out that way, and I don't get home until 10 o'clock at night, do the same thing the very next day, I'm good. I'm not,
They don't pay you for gas.
and that's the thing. You're not. So my con was that shit got
No, they do not.
that shit to me got
Old.
Quick. There it is. Thank you. Got old quick. So that's why, like, when I left there, I was just like, bro, I'm good off home improvement. Like, I really enjoyed it. I thought I was good, and I thought I was gonna get even better and better because I knew, like, I can sell. I'll sell anybody. I don't care. I'll sell you this pen. You know, I'll sell you my used water bottle. Like, I feel like I can do that. But obviously, just doctor sold some wheat thins.
I heard that story.
Yeah, sold the wheat thins. You know.
Proud of you, buddy.
So that was funny. I actually saw one of our babysitters the other day at church. It might have been a different one, but she was like, "Yeah, Papa." She was like, "There's some badass little kids." You know, what you talking about? We were good. No, you're some crazy ass kids. You know? I was like, "Well, we grew up to be good though, at least, you know." But yeah, so for the people who are interested in sales, man, I recommend it. I do recommend it. So if anyone's watching it, fresh out of
Don't
high
be scared
school,
to take that chance. for sure.
call Emerson.
You gotta be 100%
They need
ready.
River needs some canvassers. There's other companies out there. Y'all can always I'll put all of our Instagrams in the list or in the description. Y'all can DM River, DM me. There's a couple companies out there who are probably hiring for
There's
people.
a lot of them.
who
You gotta
wants
be
to-
careful who you're with. But
Yeah,
at the
you
same
do.
time,
But again,
just get your foot in the door, right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to be so picky to where, you know, some of us get so picky because we're the ones who are actually afraid to take that jump. So we'll nitpick stuff.
It's
to
scary.
make it like
Everything
it's
is
not
scary.
possible when it really is. So it's all about your mindset. If you want to do it, you're gonna do it. If you want to make a lot of money, if that's what it's about, then there is no other profession than sales. Besides maybe if you want to own your own business, but that's going to take you about probably 5 to 10 years. Don't
hey, but
expect that to be
sales is
quick
a
either.
damn good place to start. I tell you what,
Sales
because
is a good place to start. It's
because
gonna teach you a
know,
lot.
because you become an independent contractor, right? My
Right.
name was Iristegi Home Improvement. Like I was an independent contractor, you know. So like it was dope to have that. So
Yeah,
now
it's
just
nice.
to build it. So like our first thing is Big Brothers podcast. Now what's next? You know, like what else can we do? So everything is scary.
Everything's scary.
Jumping into something,
What
no matter
else is
what
scary
it is.
is living on $40,000 a year and not being able to have anything,
With like 3 kids.
like not being able to go down to the store and just like buy some food. You know what I mean? Like that's out of your budget. You can't buy the nice steaks. You got to buy the cheap steaks. It's always good to be humble, but it's nice to not have to. It's the security that you don't have to worry about anymore. It's not necessarily having all that money. It's just that security. I mean, you're not gonna have to be at that point again. That's what's important to me.
Saving, like, it's kind of like having money for a rainy day.
That is scary though. Like a lot of people don't think that, like, oh yeah, I don't want to bet on myself and I don't want to take that chance of not getting paid.
Yeah.
What's it called? But yeah, thinking about it, you can do exactly what you're doing right now for the next 20, 30 years.
Or some people make that money and then they'll. Here's the thing: when you make that kind of money, you get complacent, especially if you've never made that kind of money before. It's just gonna happen no matter what, and you'll fail, and then you'll learn not to get complacent. But the first time that happens, when you fail, you're gonna feel like garbage. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna feel like this ain't for you. Like you're gonna go through a dry streak, especially if we're talking in sales. Sales has their ebbs and flows. If you guys know what that means, that's just highs and lows. And it's not for everybody, man. But sales has definitely changed my life. Shawn says it's changed his as well. That just proves even when you're out of sales, you take certain things with you, whether it's how you talk to people, whether it's a work ethic, whether it's belief in yourself that you took with you that you learned throughout the process. But it's definitely not for everybody. Like Shawn was saying a second ago, I kind of want to touch on it. You mentioned how during the process when you were at CAT, you had to like drive everywhere, right?
Green Day Power.
Green Day. Okay.
Really?
So when you were at Green Day, okay, so that was the next one. So at Green Day, when you were driving everywhere, and how far did they send you? Because I know that at CAT, it was
San
like
Jose.
an hour and a half.
I went to San Jose.
So that's like 2.5 hours.
I was staying the night at your.
3 hours.
I was staying the night in Sacramento at your spot a few times because I had to go right back the next day.
Yeah.
Why would I drive another hour into
crazy.
town? So it just didn't make sense.
So
You know?
2.5 hours, and yeah, man, like that's crazy. Like having to do all that. Like normal people are gonna look at that like you're crazy talking about I'm gonna drive that far. You do it a couple times,
and you're not getting paid for it.
but how much would you have gotten paid if you went to that lead and sold it?
So this is the thing. Not to speak about this company at
But
all.
I just mean like as far as like because the drive sucks. But how much would you have made for that one sale?
$2,000 maybe.
$2,000 to drive for 4 hours, 4.5, 5 hours of driving. That's more than people make in 3 weeks. 3 weeks. You know what I mean? Like and that's we're independent contractors. If you guys don't know how that works, is
You don't get
don't
paid.
get taxed out of your paychecks. That
And you don't
waits
get
to
paid
end
till
of
the job
year.
is done as well. That's the
You don't
thing.
get paid till the job is done.
And the reason why I did leave
So
is
you
because they
gotta have
took
a little
8
bit of
months. That's the reason why. I think that's what ultimately did it for me.
yeah,
was
Green Day
that,
was slow. They were very
That's
slow. They had
what
a small
not
production department.
No defense of Green Day. No, fuck that.
It
They
is what
took
it is.
they took 8 months
We're
to
not
pay.
we're not
Like the
hating on them. We're
video.
just saying
Subscribe,
they had a
Green Day.
slow
for
production
one
department.
check. For one check, they took 8 months to pay me.
That's just interest.
crazy.
On
That's
God.
crazy.
I need
That's why I was
interest on
gone.
that.
That's why. And
That's how shit works.
and that's what
No, that's too long. That's too long.
That's what messed me up.
That's too
That's
long.
what messed me up, bro. Honestly, I think about it all the day to this day. Like, I kind of want to go back to another sales home improvement company, maybe where he's at, or maybe it's another place or whatnot to try it out again. Because I did like it. The driving part, 3 hours away and all that being gone. Yeah, it was a problem. But again, I always looked at like, if I sell
The
this
highs
job,
are too high for the lows to get to you.
yeah,
like
if I sell this job, I made more just from this job, damn, than I did in a whole month.
But that's the problem, right? You have a week where you sell 3 deals, and all of a sudden you're at $9,000 or $10,000 for the month. You don't want to do anything for the rest of the month. You
Yeah.
get like
Fuck
complacent.
that. I'm trying to bubble up.
So
get
it's
to
like you get to a
20s, 30.
Money,
No, you
bro.
think
Like,
that.
that's
You
a
do
has to
think
be
that
more, it
it's-
has to be worth more than
Yeah.
money. You have to either maybe you want to be the best guy there, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you want to be like that's my thing.
You
Everywhere
have
I've
to
been,
you have to
Trying
find
to
a
touch as much as I can.
I wanna
you
be-
have
I wanna be
you
top-
have to find a
top guy.
different motive, a different drive to push you. I remember when
100%.
I first started that cat training. I went to his house and we were sitting there. He was Chief and Jay or whatnot, and I was like, "No, lead city." He's like, "I ain't tripping." He's like, "10K in the what's it called again?"
and that's baby now.
But what's it called
In the
though? The
pipeline.
pipeline. He's like, 10K in the pipeline. I'm chilling. I said, "Shit." You know what I'm
It's
saying?
like that though, because you get a certain, and that was, I mean, we weren't making shit there, dude.
That was like 2 years ago.
It's different now. Like when you find the right company that's like, hey, if you sell over, you just keep it. I got my amount that I want to make, and he's cool. If there's any adders, which are like if problems happen with the job, like maybe you open up the roof and there's rotten wood, Normally, they're going to take that out of your check. Like
14.6 miscellaneous.
Sheesh.
That's 15,000 off what you sold.
The problem is-
you went from $2,000 to now
Here,
making
listen.
$500. Like what?
he's not lying, right? So what happened is with that company, they would take what we would make, instead of taking the cost, which is basically all it costs them to do that extra work. Let's say it was $500 worth of wood and labor. Instead of charging us $500, they're going to charge us $1,000, like they would have charged the customer to make their profit. They're going to get their profit out of our commission. That's what was like, okay, now we see a problem here, right? Yeah. So that's when he went to Green Day. I went to a marathon, and Green Day was a trip. And it's not your fault, right? The thing is, like, we have a buddy that was like, he used to work at Cat with us too. So like he went over to this place, started doing well, told us like, oh, it's crazy, blah, blah, blah. We get there and they have like 4 people setting appointments. They have like 25 salespeople.
They just kept hiring
like,
and
what
hiring.
are you doing,
I didn't get
dude?
it.
Like, so we would just sit at home with nothing to do. We're $1 million reps. What are you doing? Yeah. 20% of the company makes 80% of the money. 80% only makes 20% of the money. That's a common rule in business. So when you have the guys that are producing over $1 million a year, you want those guys on your front line. You don't want them sitting on their couch looking on Indeed for new jobs because they're not running leads. Yeah. So it's like, that's ultimately what ended up happening, right? And so what's crazy is once I got through all of that, right, I started looking online, forget these places. I ended up finding this ad for a marathon. Turns out the guy who posted the ad was the one I worked for knocking on doors, 3.5 years before that. Damn. So it's like,
I didn't know that. I think
crazy, right?
Oh, damn.
So like he reached out. So he reached out to me. He actually emailed me. He's like, I think you're selling for the wrong team, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, says everybody, you know what I mean? Like everybody says,
Money talks,
everybody. Yeah. So he brought me in. It was just a good vibe with the owner. And now I'm closer to the owner than I even am with him. And it's just a good feeling, man. You feel secure just in your workplace. And at this point, I don't really feel like it's just a sales job. It's kind of a career at this point. Like I was telling you guys before, I don't know what the hell I would do if it weren't for sales. Yeah. But I do know if things went bad, I always got sales. Yeah. You can always sell something, right? So it's like, you take that with you. Like I said, you take your knowledge everywhere. That's something nobody can take from you.
And it's for sure a career because you don't see yourself doing anything else other than
I don't
shit,
see
right?
it. No. I do want to. So my whole thing is I've been learning, right? Like at this point, I feel like, and I'm only 23, but I feel like I can run this company. And I'm not just saying that. Like at this point, I learned how production works, what it takes to get the permits, go to the building department, set up the jobs, hire the subcontractors to do the work. All this stuff, right? I feel like I can do it myself, but I don't want to. And I know everybody says that, I could do it myself. I don't want to, kind of thing. But like that's the truth with me. I want to wait a little bit more. I've got it good right now. I don't have to take on that responsibility of trying to open up a new business, right? Like get it while it's here. If you got something good, don't be in such a rush to get out of it. Yeah. Nurture it while it's there because it might not always be there. Like I always talk about, I could be homeless next month. It would never happen. But you have to have that mindset. Like things could go bad, dude. Like you can't stop working. He said 10K. It's a lot more than that right now in the pipeline. But I won't take a day off. I'm still working 6 days a week. I don't remember the last time I took a vacation. Like it's crazy, dude. Like, and so when you could find a company that you feel comfortable putting in that kind of work and they appreciate you for that and they pay you for that, for your time, you stick to that company, dude. Like you don't, for real, like, because not everybody's going to do that, which I'm learning in this sales stuff. There's a lot of companies out there who are just going to throw shit on the wall and see what sticks.
It's like Green Day. Green Day, just like the reason why they had so many reps is because the thing is that they're not paying for training, so they're just bringing people in. If you don't make it, okay, you're out.
That's fine, right? Because they're paying them 100% commission. You ain't going to lose anything.
They don't lose. It's a win-win for them.
Yeah.
It's a win-win. So
you don't lose anything.
That's why, again, you have to find the right company. Real quick, is there anyone, because I know you don't read books like you said, is there anyone that you watch on maybe YouTube or whatnot that helps you with sales at all, that maybe kind of gives you a drive or maybe might teach you a thing or two because they've seen a thing or two?
It's not that you don't read books, but you just haven't read books.
No, I don't read them. No, I really don't. No,
well, yeah, so he said no before the podcast. I don't read books.
That's what I'm saying. Like if I read a page right now, like I can read it. Obviously, like I know how to read, but I'm not Floyd Mayweather with this. But like I'm not going to be super fluent with it. Like I'm just not used to it. Like I mean, maybe because I'm used to reading off my phone and stuff like that. But I'm not a big book guy. I know a lot of knowledgeable people are book people. And obviously there's a ton to learn from books and it's a good habit to have to read. But I don't know, man. I don't have that much time to myself, so it's like when I do get that time, I'm chilling. Like I got
So
you got to
there's-
reset.
So has there ever been
Anybody that's kind of taught
any
me.
sales kind of guys that you've watched that kind of maybe?
Yeah. For sure. So like, so
Give me a couple
I mean,
guys.
here's the thing. Like
Because
anybody,
just in case anyone
anybody
wants
that
to look
does,
it up.
anybody that does sales, they're gonna know already. Jordan Belfort,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like Wolf of Wall Street, just kind of lit a fire.
That's what I watched, yeah.
Everybody that's got a passion for sales has seen that movie, and that's lit a fire under all of them. But I would say him, but I really don't even watch his podcasts. I watch like Joe Rogan and stuff. Here's the thing. You don't have to be a good salesperson. You have to just be a good human being. Like one thing about my job and your previous job was you get to be yourself, and either people like you for that or they don't. But if you're trying to be, that's the problem with people in sales, is that they're trying to be something they're not, and they're wearing that mask too much. And people can smell sales breath from a mile away. So if you're just being yourself and you're just explaining what it is, and if it works for you, great. If it doesn't work for you, I'm absolutely okay with that. Yeah. People are gonna like you a lot better, and what's gonna happen is you're gonna turn it from a sale to a buy, right? Nobody likes to be sold. We all love to buy things. You go into the store, get the hell away from me. I'm just looking, right? You know about that. And then all of a sudden they're like, where'd that guy go? Right? I need his help. So it's like, yeah, as far as guys that have taught me, it's just people in person. You know what I mean? And myself, like I'm always thinking of objections. It's like a disease that I have, dude. Like I'll be laying in bed and I'll be thinking about like just being in a closing situation of if somebody says, oh, it's too much money, or, you know, I wanted to wait till next year to do this, or whatever it is. Like for me, I hate losing. So if I don't get a sale, I'm going to think about that. Like for the next few days, like what did I do wrong? Even if it's something that's dumb. Because even if it's something like out of my control, you never know if it's truly something out of your control, because people lie, right? People will just say whatever's easy to get you out of their house, right? Because that's an uncomfortable situation once you start talking about the money, right? So they'll tell you, oh, maybe I have a cousin that does this. Right? They don't have no cousin that does this. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I want to talk to my cousin. He does this, so I want to make sure it's a good deal.
Should have called him first.
Yeah, you would have called him first. You wouldn't have let us be here. As a matter of fact, are you sure it's not about the money? And they're going to say, it's a little bit more. It's a lot of money, right? And so it's always about the money.
It's always about the money.
It's always about the money.
Yeah, no matter what it is, no matter how
it's
good
the money.
No matter
I mean,
what it
you just
is.
ask somebody, hey, if it was free, well, would you do it today? They're always going to say, of course I would. So it's about the money.
So,
right? You're gonna
so
admit it
if
right
y'all
there.
don't watch anyone on YouTube to learn about sales, well, we got the guy for you. We'll put his Instagram description. We'll go. This is the guy to do it. So hit him up if you want to know about some sales. Me, I'm sending everyone his way. Go that way, right there.
Come to me.
Yeah, for sure.
I got you. I am the captain now.
For sure.
I got pain.
Last question from me. I know you said you don't see yourself doing anything but sales, but River, 10 years from now, what do you see yourself doing? What is it? Are you a manager for a marathon, or what do you envision for yourself, or have you thought that far?
I'm either VP of some company, or I have my own company. That's it. Like I'm climbing up the ladder right now, and it's not much else that I can get to besides VP of sales, and then of course a share in the company, maybe a part owner, something like that. I can, always look for something else. This might not be what I want to do forever. It's just something I'm good at, So we'll see what happens. I mean, today I wake up and I want to do this. Tomorrow I wake up and I want to do something else.
10 years from now, River gonna be back on the show, on this podcast. It's gonna be a different location, obviously, but
I'm gonna be doing stucco.
You gonna pull up to the podcast on a boat. That's how you gonna pull up to the podcast.
Podcast gonna be in the middle of a beach somewhere.
You gonna pull up on a boat.
Different locations. And man, hey, it's if we don't dream, man, for ourselves of who is, we have to
Drink
dream.
some water.
We have to dream. Have to. You have to, have big visions, have big goals, dream big. A guy that I watch, he's kind of a punk. I ain't gonna lie, but I like him because he don't care. He's ruthless. Grant Cardone. He always says this. You have a goal for the end of the year. I want to make $1 million. I know we're just making big numbers up. This is what he says. Why say $1 million? Why not say $5 million? He's like, because if you fail, if you don't reach your goal, at least you'll, you know what I'm saying? This makes any types of sense. Like, at least you'll basically kind of saying like, if you say 1 million, why not say 5 million? And you fail either way, you're probably going to make more money if you reach for 5 million, right? You might make 1.2. If you go for 1 million, you might make 600,000. But so it's kind of like that. He did say some couple things. I mean, a lot of things really that like made me think about life different. Gary V, shout out Gary V. He's not really a salesy kind of guy. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But he gave me like the drive to start putting the Be Still Empire videos out. Like, dude, I was a shy person growing up, and I kind of changed over time. But like, talk about going on Instagram, putting out a video talking about good things. People aren't used to that. People don't really like that, And the fact that like if you're not doing numbers, the consistency, you may stop like with the podcast or with whatever you're doing with sales or with whatever you're doing. If you're doing it in life and you're not seeing results right away, hey, just put your time in. I don't know if we said it on the podcast or not. I finally told him this. Usain Bolt, I say his name right? Usain Bolt said, I trained 8 years, 7 days a week. It's probably even longer than that for a 10-second race. And y'all want to stop after 2 months of not seeing results. I sat back in my chair at the apartment, was like, damn, that's crazy. Like, and again, we can read that and be like, but that's true. That's true. That's like real stuff. So seeing quotes like that, seeing these people come from the gutter, there's very, very few people in this world. Obviously there's people who are born into wealth, but I don't really care for that. I love the people who come from nothing into something. We were talking to my mom and dad the other day. We had breakfast together talking about, me and him want to buy this embroidery machine, and we want to buy it and we want to just do these things ourselves. And, because we watched them come from nothing to something, so like, that's just like the goal, right? Is to come from whatever you got to make it your own. To I don't want shit to be given to me. I want to earn it. It's something. It just makes it. Hard times
it
make.
would have been tight to be born into it, but at the end of the day, like since we're not born from it, and you're looking at it, it's like I'd rather make something to myself anyway. Shit,
it's beautiful to work for that shit.
It's gonna feel way better.
At the same time, we all want that for our kids, though.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's why we're trying to work for it now, so we can't
hate them.
Work for that shit. Yeah, hell yeah.
That's why I always say you surround yourself with a good team. If maybe the team is just you, but like or if you have a family member, cousins, friends, brothers, whatever it is, there are people out there who you may not know right now, but you just keep if you want to.
You want to be a millionaire, surround yourself with millionaires.
And it may be hard. But Quincy, how am I going to just start working on what you want to do? Start doing it. Start making
anybody who's not
whatever you're going to do, just do it.
Just start it. Go on. Social media is the biggest thing. Grant Cardone also said this. I don't care if they're talking bad about me or good about me. They're talking about me. That's what matters to me is that they are talking about me. So just get your name out there. If it's sales, if it's construction, if it's you want to go to school, if it's you want to go to the military, whatever it is, find that route. But if it's something like independence, right, being a sales contractor, being a real estate agent, being a life insurance agent, whatever it is, you got to put the work in. Let your name be known. Let it be known. And like Usain Bolt said, after 2 months you don't see results, after a year you don't see results, and you want to stop now, it might not just be for you. Take a look in the mirror and tell yourself, let's keep on going, because what is it you said? You said in the podcast yesterday, G Herbo says it.
Damn, I was just about to say it too. If the reason why it ain't come yet is because either you ain't worked hard enough yet, or your time just ain't come.
So just keep going.
Also, don't be afraid to try something new. I mean, if it's not working for you, don't be afraid to feel like. I've been in that before where I'm like a Green Day, for example. I tried that for a month, and I was like, I've only been here a month. Maybe I should give them more time to work it out. Best thing I could have done was leave. Yeah. That was the best decision I made. And so it's like, sometimes you just got a gut feeling. Don't fall into the pressure of having to stay somewhere where you're not happy. But yeah, longevity is really important, and employers look at that a lot more than people think. How long have you stayed at previous jobs? Because you can do the same thing here. We don't want a 3-month. What do they call them? 90-day wonders.
Something. Yeah.
So nobody wants that. So don't be afraid to
leave. Because it's a 90-day probation period. To see if you're gonna make it not or be there or not.
Just people come in and it don't work out and they dip out, but that's okay, man. We're all gonna find our place, but the most important thing is just don't stay somewhere where you're unhappy.
Don't be stagnant. Keep going. Keep elevating yourself. It takes time.
Yep.
Any closing statements from any of you guys? Doctor, anything? Anything to ask? Anything to...
Thank y'all for watching this episode. Thank you for coming.
Yes, sir.
Hope you guys learned something.
Thanks for
Hope
having
you guys
me.
enjoyed it.
Episode
Leave a
10.
like, subscribe,
Like
leave
I
a
said, you're gonna
comment.
be back in 10 years. We're gonna keep this shit going for a very, very, very.
Have
very,
to. We
very
all
long
have to,
time.
right?
on the
Because, you know,
flow.
we asked him, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
You're
Right?
gonna be back before 10 years.
I asked
too,
myself that too. Where do I see myself? Where do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? So it's something we really have to ask ourselves all the time. Like, you know, and something I do quite often when I got into sales, I look in the mirror. You know, we all have our own self-doubts and stuff like that. Look in the mirror, tell yourself you're a bad motherfucker. You know, keep on going. You're the best at what you do. And just because you ain't got it right now, you're going to get it someday. You have to believe in yourself. So like my brother said, like Bert said, thank y'all for tuning in to, I'm not going to do it this time, Big Brothers Podcast. Big Brothers Podcast. This was episode 10. Shout out River for just coming in, getting locked in with us. He's been watching our podcast too. So for you ones not watching the podcast,
Gotta watch it.
it's time to tune in now, baby.
Tune in.
It's time to
For real.
go. Time to go.
And anybody who's watching that ain't subscribed, because I know we be having like 200 views. I know we don't got no 200 subscribers.
We don't.
It ain't that hard to press the button.
Oh, this
Subscribe
is
to
little
One button.
It ain't
click,
gonna hurt to press the button.
click.
Man, right?
But
Little button.
all right,
from
y'all.
red to gray.
Y'all have a great,
And hit the
great
like button.
rest of your guys' days. We love you guys.
Graded blue.
Big Brothers Podcast, baby. We out. Peace out.
Peace.
Love y'all.
Woo.
Buddy.
There we go. Money.
I've been overthinking about my life. I've been overthinking about my life and everything that I got going on. I ain't gonna switch, I ain't gonna change my life.